Oh, 2 minutes 24, John, now to totality. It really dark outside. And this is the Isles of Scilly. Now, if we've got 2 minutes and 17 seconds, they've only got just over a minute, haven't they, until totality?
They've got just over a minute, about a minute and 10 seconds from now. And we can see the crescent has thinned now. It's very, very thin. We can see the horns here are now beginning to draw in. And this is when your hands sweat. The hairs on the back of your neck really get tense. Here are the horns drawing in now, and then we're going to see this fade all the way down to a single point of light. I don't think we're going to get a very spectacular show of Bailey's beads as we go into totality.
We'll come back to that in a minute, John, but just here, look how dark it's got outside here.
Isn't it
absolutely
wonderful? Wonderful.
It turns you on, does it, John?
It really does. And we just lost the picture there, but if we can get that back, then we'll see a plunge into totality in the Scillies in about 30 seconds.
Oh, right.
If we can get that back.
Can we still see the Scilly Islands, because we've got about 30 seconds to totality?
We've got about 15 seconds now.
15 seconds?
And so we've got 10 seconds to go. Here we are, single point of light, breaks into a couple of beads, disappears. Now they'll be able to see the corona. If they can't see it through the clouds, we're coming up here. Now
here's the Hercules, John, so...
Okay.
And they're about where we are, so what are we doing? We're about a minute away?
We've got a bit less than a minute, I think, to go. They're a bit to the west of us, and again we can see things thinning and the horns drawing in.
Great shouting going on outside here, and at the Radio 1 outing now.
Absolutely. Hope nobody gets dazzled by all the flashes that go off. Tremendous.
And here's the Hercules.
Here's the Hercules again. We can see the horns drawing in again, coming down to a single point light, about 30 seconds or so to go here.
People are yelling.
Now it is dark. See that the horizon to the south is still bright. We're looking out of the zone of totality there. Looks like a huge end of the world experience to the west. Still light towards Patrick and Falmouth. Isn't this absolutely wonderful? Now you're convinced this is what people come for.
It's extraordinary out here.
Here from the Hercules, we're beginning to see little beads forming at the end of the arc here as the last bit of sun is disappearing behind the moon. It's all breaking up now into this final point of light. Do you see what I mean about the gloom descending?
It's just quite extraordinary. Look at the atmosphere out there.
Now, here we've got a fascinating picture. Here's the sun disappearing. Here's some Bailey's beads. And there is totality. We begin to see some prominences around the sun here.
And leave aside all the atmosphere and the height. This is what the scientists are looking at as well, isn't it?
This is really wonderful. Now we've got midnight outside. Midnight at midday.
But now just a little bit of light on the far horizon.
Here's the corona now. This wonderful structure of the sun's atmosphere being twisted and contorted and heated by the sun's magnetic field up to several million degrees. The only time you can see it by eye.
So this is the time when you can actually see what the sun does.
Absolutely. I spent 30 years studying this outer atmosphere of the sun. For me,
completely eerie sun. Well, it's totally dark outside here, apart from just a bit of light on the far horizon, which is outside the zone of totality, isn't it?
Yes. That's because the total zone is so narrow.
Yeah.
We're looking out of the zone of totality. Now we're beginning to see the lightning in the west as the total shadow is now passing over us. We've got 2 or 3 more seconds to go here. Totality is now essentially over here. Daylight returns.
And it is. That's extraordinary, isn't it? You can see actually on the Hercules picture, you can see the light coming. Here you can see it actually on the horizon.
Absolutely. And now, if we look to the east, we can see the shadow moving away. Patrick is probably about to come out of the shadow in Falmouth in about 5 seconds or so. and then the shadow is still heading eastwards. Totality.
This is the diamond ring, isn't it?
This is the diamond ring coming out. Isn't that beautiful? The most precious, the most elusive diamond that you will ever see. Now we're back with the filtered camera here, and now we can see the arc of the sun returning. Those were incredible pictures from the plane.
Did it do as much for you as it normally does, John, despite all the clouds?
Even unfortunately, seeing it here on the monitor, well, you can see I'm still smiling. This has been absolutely super. And now the shadow's heading off over the channel.
It's heading towards Patrick Moore, isn't it?
It's left Patrick, it's now heading towards Alderney. They've got about a minute and a bit to go before
hang on a second, John. Let's see if we can see Patrick Moore. We can see how he reacted. Patrick, did you enjoy that?
Well, in a way I did. It was an eerie experience, and clearly aircraft showed that it was a marvellous surrender. But down here, unfortunately, in St Anthony Head, we were under total cloud. The drop in the light level was quite amazing, more than I'd ever known before, and the rise at the end, when it was at the end, it was equally marked. But it was a strange, weird experience, one that I am, in a way, glad to have been through, but very sorry we didn't see what was quite clearly a magnificent solar corona. You'll try that in our Sky Night programme later on, but at the present moment I fear that we have to say that from here we didn't see the corona, but we did have a strange experience, and one that I think very few people will ever have again. So at least we have been through the last English total solar eclipse of the millennium.
So it was really atmosphere you got rather than anything scientific or astronomical, Patrick?
Well, we got something. We got the temperature drop, certainly, and the light drop. We got that, and some strange atmospheric effects too. A strange kind of breeze I've not come across before. We learnt something from it, because we didn't actually see it ourselves. And that's a great disappointment, but, well, we make the best of a bad job, and at least we saw something. We did have one tantalizing view of the partial phase about 10 minutes earlier.
Patrick, thanks very much indeed. Well, there was extraordinary scenes outside here when the shadow passed over and went totally dark and everybody started screaming.